Yeah, so I think we are live. Hi all, I welcome you to weekly Layer 5 websites meeting. This meeting is held every Monday, like the first day of the week, and with that fresh energy, we talk about all things that are on sites and our assistant, like design system, UI, UX, and any Figma mockups, if that's the thing you're working on. So there are any number of open issues. If we talk about Figma particularly, I'll simply scroll down to that section. So yeah, all these badges, they are in need of being created, and there's already existing work that anyone can take inspiration from in order to create them. uh, when working on it, you get all the access to all the resources that you will need, like access to layer 5 design files and etc. So once again, they are descriptive in nature, so if you want to work on it or have some experience in with Figma, you might like to help with this. Yeah, so I already have shared this meeting minutes a couple of times in the chat box, but I'll do that just now to ensure that if you are rejoining or have just joined, you do have access to the docs. But for those of you who are already on it, that's great. So yeah, a couple of things. You would like to write your name in the attendees so as to mark your attendance. And if you're working on any issues or like pull request, you have them open. To get any feedback, you also can go ahead by including them down in this docs. We have got Mahadevan, so that's great. Yeah, we are all set. So let's first follow our tradition, and that is if you're joining this call for the very first time, why don't you go ahead and give your quick introduction? So I don't think Aditya is a newcomer, neither is Mahadevan. Let me quickly ask if this is the very first time that Anjali is joining us on this call. If that's the case, do you want to introduce yourself, Anjali? I'm afraid that we cannot hear you in case you are speaking, so your mic is still on mute. Let me confirm. So Mahadevan, am I audible?
Yes, Vivek, you are audible.
Yeah, thanks a lot. So I hope there's some audio issues with Anjali, and she will be introducing in chat. So let's then take a look at another newcomer. So add new, and your first spelling is Leul. I think it's pronounced Leul. Do you mind giving your introduction if this is the very first time joining Sites Call for you?
Okay, this is my second time joining website call.
Mhm.
I'm a software DevOps engineer, and I'm happy to be here. And
Mhm.
I don't know a lot about Figma and front end, but
Mhm.
I've used to work 3 or 4 years ago, but I
Okay.
will look for other ways to contribute.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So thanks a lot. First of all, thanks a lot for joining this call again and giving your introduction. So Figma necessarily doesn't have to be any area where you can contribute. There are any number of other things to do, and so we will be sure to go through all of them. I see Anjali, so thanks a lot, Lewel. Next up, we have Anjali, her mic open. So do you want to go next? I don't think that you're quite audible, Anjali, so we'll have to check, I guess. And feel free to go ahead and try it through the chat. So I welcome you to the call. Rajat, I guess, is not the very first time for him. For Rohan, will you once confirm if you are a newcomer to the call for this specifically this call, or have you been on it already?
Hello, hello. I am Rohan. So I have attended meeting calls before, but this is my first website weekly call,
Yeah,
and I
perfect.
am a Socomo student.
Yeah, please go ahead.
I am a Socomo student. I am a Socomo student. I am looking forward to contributing to Layer 5 and Meshery. Thanks.
That is awesome, Rohan. Do you also want to, tell us the technology that you're working with, like maybe React or Golang or anything
Okay, so
you would like
yeah,
to mention?
yeah. So for front-end technologies, I have worked with React and Next.js, and I have a bit of knowledge about Golang and Rust. But I
Mhm.
am a bit newbie in the Kubernetes and Docker part. So that's
Yep.
the thing.
Yeah, that's there's no issue. Like, yeah, you can always start with the area you are most proficient in, and from there you can build other skills. So that's really great. Thanks a lot for your introduction, Rohan. Since you are a first timer, I really have a very straightforward first timers only issue for you. So I'll be sure that you're assigned to it and start your contribution journey in the community with that particular issue. So stay tuned.
Oh, sure, thanks.
Yeah. So once again, folks, I have already shared this meeting minutes with you like a couple of times in the call, but since a couple of you have just hopped onto the call, let me share this meeting minutes, the Google Docs that you can see on your screen. So make sure that you write your name, add any agenda item that you want to talk about. Now we would be starting with the standing agenda item, and then we'll be covering a couple of topics on various sites that we have across the community. So we have a couple of standing agenda items, and this is called, this has its name because, it's covered on almost every other website's meeting. The very first being the MDX migration PR. We'll be quickly going through it and what it is, and if you like to chime in, how you can do that. So I have explained this a couple of times on this call, but very quickly for everyone's context, we have a site that's at this URL. Let me quickly drop that down in chat. And the content that it has is in Markdown format. So let's say if you are someone who just wants to write a blog and you don't want to go in the specifics of JSX or HTML, React, and styling, you just simply want to get your content out, you would write it in the simplest language. To me, it's an opinion, but I consider Markdown being simplest of the syntax for writing any content. You simply can get started with writing anything, and there are a couple of syntax, like for example, if you want to have a header, you simply can do this. And then this is a header. The number of pounds that are there, it controls the type of header that this is, and there's similarly very simple syntax for writing content. So for this particular PR, the content that we have in Markdown, now how that will be shown on the web pages that we have, because this site is a Gatsby site, which is a React framework. And so obviously that Markdown has to be translated into the JSX and rendered onto the web page using all the styles that we have predefined somewhere that any content writer don't have to worry about. We have got this plugin called MDX plugin. And recently there were upgrades on the version of the Gatsby, the framework that the site run on. There was a upgrade made in that. And this plugin, which is tightly coupled with the version of the framework, is no longer compatible and is using a flag that ensures that it will still run. But yeah, I think very soon that will not work out for us, and we will have to have this plugin upgraded to a version where it's compatible with the latest version of the framework. So there has been a couple of work for past couple of years from Sudhanshu and the very first, Randy, or the past contributor. So as you can see, it has changes made to well over 1,000 files, and you can see the number of lines of code changes. But do not worry about seeing these many changes. They basically are auto generated. So 500 or so files are just simply Markdown files which are automatically generated, and you will have to just have a single logic somewhere in MeshCTL to invoke that. And I'm sure that others, including me, can help you out with that. But rest assured, other files, they are just simple syntax, and you don't have to go about making changes to all these 100,000 plus files. You also can take commits from these previous PRs. But yeah, this is something that where help is needed, and it's something that will take some investigation. So if you're someone who would like to chime in and help us with this, this is a critical item and also pretty important. So for any of the curious mind among you, I'll quickly drop the link in the chat box, and will invite you to ask any further questions in the GitHub thread. So others like Sudhanshu and myself will be there to help you out. And yeah, if you like to take this forward, you are more than welcome to do so. All right, next up, we will be talking about catalog. So first of all, let's take a look at where this catalog is. So there are a couple of places where the catalog is located, and I'm going to one where it is a little more functional and advanced. So if you are curious where you will find a simplistic one, it will be at this place. That is meshreader.io/catalog. It's a static site. So in that case, it's not much functional than the one that is at this URL. But yeah, it gives you a nice overview on what the catalog is. So just like in any catalog, you have different kind of items. It also has these like designs, filters, models. You can see the number and read what they are. If you go, for example, on designs, these all designs are published by contributors like you, myself, and many others who were here and are here. You can sort on your favorite technology, category, and just in case you would like to explore any of one of these designs, which are Kubernetes infrastructure as design, you can open them all in a live Kubernetes cluster environment and play around with all the components that they have. So yes, you heard that right. Not necessarily you will have to do anything with the configuration files, but you can do all of it in a Visual Designer that's right in your browser. So you don't need to install anything. There's already a community hosted Kubernetes cluster that you're given access to free of cost, and you can explore each one of these and can learn a couple of things. And if you would want to get started, you also can do that. So, and yes, whatever you publish, it goes through a review cycle, and once it's approved, it will be available in the catalog at these places that we are saying. And yes, it is linked back to your user. So for example, if we open, let's say this one, this was published by Shubham, and if you want to take a look at Shubham's profile, you can simply click onto this created by, and you are taken to Shubham's profile where you can see all the designs that he has published. For example, these many designs. As it will load, yeah. You click on it and you are taken to the particular system where you can access these hands-on. You also can take a look at the various badges that they got. So, and then if you are just curious on like what these are, you simply can then read more about them. But yeah, that was a very quick overview on the catalog. So the issue, and yeah, this is another location where we have catalog. And like I said, it's a little advanced because it also shows you statistics and a little more feature than the one we were at. So yeah, if you would want to take a look, let me drop this as well in the chat box. So around the catalog, we have two requests. And the very first one would be about publishing more of these example applications. So once again, what that is and where you can get that from. So you don't have to be someone familiar with Kubernetes and knowing all about it. You simply can grab these either Kubernetes manifest file or a Docker Compose or a Helm chart through any of these example repositories. So other projects in the cloud native space, they have example labs for newcomers to learn, and even for like publishing their best practices, they have these apps available in their sample repository. You can grab from any one of them. So as you are exploring, you will find that it's a really straightforward ask. Now, once you have those files with you, how you can then access our UI, like the browser-based UI I was talking about, and how you can then go about doing what I told you to, like publishing a design. You will know more about all of that into this particular blog. Let's quickly go through the blog. It tells you what the Canvas catalog is, where you can find what all it contains, and then steps like how to create or import a design. So you can either start from scratch or you can start from already available, like I said, all the files in the format that I mentioned. So once again, I'll be quickly dropping this blog, and it's also linked in the issue. Yeah, so this particular call for volunteer I'll be dropping in the chat. If any one of you would like to work, you can sound off right now, or you can, sound off later too. So let's see if we have a new volunteer just now on the call for this particular ask, like the issue. All right, know that you can always sound off for the GitHub thread. So the link is already in the chat box. Next up, these are all good first issues, and they are similar in nature. So instead of publishing designs, you will be working on creating some starter templates. So if you have ever used any, for example, proper libraries or tools or visual tools, it's case that they offer you with some starting template that you can then tinker to suit to your use cases, or you simply, just so that you don't have to start from scratch, they give you something to get started from. And that's the case with our tool too. So this tool is at this URL. I'll be dropping that in chat. So it's called canvas.new. You can simply access this in your browser through the URL I shared in chat. And yeah, as you would go there, you would see a couple of starting templates like it started and stuff. So we are in need of creating more and more of those templates, and all of these issues that are open, they are basically asking for that only. And since they are all descriptive, let's not go into the detail. But yeah, these don't require any code contribution. You just simply have to, take a look at the description and then make sure that the acceptance tests are like you are fulfilling them. And since there are example of these existing templates created by contributors, we can also take inspiration from them. For example, if we go to the closed ones, all of these are like closed and have been completed. So you can then refer to their template to get inspired and, make your template. So next up, we will be talking about Systent. So let's first take a look at all the open issues on Systent. So this not necessarily is a link to all the Systent items. We'll first go to Systent repository, if you will. So yeah, this is the repository where we have all the reusable components in one place. So if you have ever worked around with MUI, you know that they give you, once you install it, you can get access to a large number of components that they have available, and you can very easily render them and use them in your projects. Since we also have many UI clients across the community in various projects, we have our own design system, which is called Systent, and this is the repository for it. Let me first share this with you in the chat box, and then we'll talk about where you can read more about it. So yeah, this is code, and here you can, when you explore, you will find all the components available, but that might not be the very easiest of the ways to explore. And so we have got a section on the site, dedicated to Systent. You can explore all the components that are there and basically all the details around it. We will go to components to see that all of these components that are documented, these exist in Systent. Now, this is also the case that a couple of components that are existing have not been documented yet. And so I have a call for volunteers for all of you who would like to chime in into this documentation effort to document more and more of these Systent items, like the components, and there are a large list of them. We have a couple of folks on the call, like Mahadevan, who have like worked in this area, and I think also have some PRs open. And basically, there are a couple of merged PRs too on these issues that you can take inspiration from once again. And if you want more help, we have got you covered. We had like many sessions centered around Systent, how you can set it up locally, to how you can make changes to the code. So we had like hands-on demo on that part too, and I have linked down all the training sessions into this Google Docs. So again, take a look at that. And also how you can set it up. If you would like to take a look at the README, where all the instructions are there in detail, you can refer to this guide. So hopefully like that was clear. If anyone of you would like to work on, well, this might not be a very straightforward ask, but yeah, this is on the easier side. And since there's much helpful resource already in there, it might not take you much long. And yeah, again, like if anytime you are stuck or if you need help, all the community members, including me and others, are here. You can ask them for help. So yeah. So there goes the section on standing agenda items. Now we will be discussing topics that we have on sites, and the very first site that we will be covering will be this site. I'm sure that I've already shared this link with you. So let's talk about this call for volunteer, and I'm sure that like one of you have sounded off that you would like to help. So Roshan, I think we are missing him on the call, but I'm sure that once he, since this call is being live streamed, once he takes a look, he will be able to find answers to the questions that he has. So yeah, like we use Google Search Console to identify various issues on our web page, like on this site. And very recently we had some reports coming, and they were primarily about not found 404 errors. Now what results into 404 errors? So let's say you go to example.com and you type anything. For example, if I type some random string, or let's say I basically hit a URL which is non-existent, so then it will trigger a report on their Google Source Console that any user try to access this particular URL, and now this is onto the developer or the site maintainer to take a look at whether or not to fix that particular 404. In our case, we had these many 404s, and while it's possible that we would not want to fix each and every one of them, so if there's any random string, we will not want to fix that. But 404s can also stem from, let's say, we modify the URL later. So similarly, like in the initial phase when that page was being worked on, or let's say if it's a blog page, it has a particular URL, but later like it got changed to something else. And now if there are references to the old URL and there's not a redirect in place, that can result into 404. So to fix all of these, anyone who would like to work on, and not necessarily a single person, a couple of us can contribute. It's also a very good SEO practice for anyone to work on. We will first take a look at if we want to fix the URL. If we want to, then we will have some redirects in place. Now, in Gatsby, which the site is based on, there's a simple way to do that, like including redirect. And I'm sure that there will be a couple of existing pull requests in place that like either will be merged or will be closed due to inactivity, that have working examples on how to add redirects. But there's this component called create redirect in Gatsby node.js. It might not be exactly create a redirect or create direct, but yeah, something along the same lines. But it will be in this file Gatsby node.js where you will find existing instances of how to include redirects.
Hey, I have a question about this.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, like these are the links you have provided in the issue.
Mhm.
Need to add, like when we click on this issue, it may be get 404, but we need to add some redirect link in the code so that anyone of the user redirect to this links which are listed here need
Yeah.
to render any page related to this content.
Yeah. So it could be that, for example, if you go to this particular URL, so let's just quickly, let me open it in the new tab. Yeah, so this gives you a 404, but do we have a whiteboarding page anywhere into the site? And we do. So if I search for that, I'm sure that there is a page dedicated to whiteboarding feature. And so we should be having a redirect in place, which takes folks there. So Kubernetes masterclass operation. GitHub collab. Okay, let's take a look if this is the one. Doesn't look like it, but there is a page on whiteboarding. If I just do a simple Google search. Okay, this is on docs, not on layer 5 IO. Or if it's just so, I'm basically doing the step that anyone who is assigned will be doing. So let's search for whiteboard on the repository itself. So let's find if we have any. Yeah, looks like there we have architecture diagram whiteboard.js. So architecture diagram. Let's see if we have a section on that. Okay, we will get there by. Okay, so I think we'll simply copy this one. And find on pages. So okay, so yeah, anything that is in pages directory. So this is again not something that we should ideally be discussing, but yeah, in Gatsby, anything that's under pages is basically where you will find that particular page. So for example, solutions layer5.io, like the main domain of the site, and then solutions diagram is the page where you will see everything about whiteboarding. So let's try doing this. Okay, let's copy this again, or let's simply just type it out. We'll remove this part. Yeah, so this is where that whiteboarding is in place. So once we have identified the redirect should be from that particular 404 URL, we'll just simply be including a redirect from that broken one to like this one, which is existing in the site. So that was just one simple example. And in the process, I also went from like how you can find related pages if they do exist. So does that I'm not sure who was the one asking, but did that clear anything to you?
Yeah, got your point.
Okay. And know that not necessarily, like I said, we'll be able to, and like we should be able to fixing all these. So for example, this one, I cannot even read like which language this is in. So yeah, we don't have to worry about this one. So yes, this should be a pretty straightforward ask, and it's ideal if a couple of us work on it together. So do I have any volunteer for working on this? I see Mahadevan.
Yeah. Hello. I would like to work on this. I am a beginner and I think I can do this issue.
That's awesome, Rohan. So thanks a lot for volunteering. You would want to comments and for me in order for me to able to in order for me to be able to
Sure.
assign you. So yeah, please do
Sure.
comment. All right,
Sure.
I'll drop this down. And like there are any number of ways to do in SEO. So SEO in itself is a field, like there are SEO subject matter experts, and so anyone who'd like to help us on these particular items like SEO ones, let me take you to all the open SEO issues. A couple of them might be closed out due to no one working on them. So we'll, should be able to get them reopened. But yeah, currently like these are some of them. And if you like to help, please chime in and ask any questions if you have in mind. So that's there. I guess we're missing Swaradeep on the call. So we'll be skipping past this, but Swaradeep, if you're watching this video, like the streaming later, first of all, thanks a lot for making some changes. Like basically we had gone through this pull request in the last sites meeting, and I had offered some feedback and many others have also. So he has gone by updating, but there are a couple of other things for you to also update. And since I have taken a look at this before the meeting, I'll simply say like this one, like the color of the delete button has not been yet updated. So you would want to take a look at that. And you did great by reducing this image size. It would be ideal if we have that centered. So a couple of things that you would like to take a look at, Swaradeep. And for any one of you who would like to take a look at the PR, I will be dropping this down in the chat box. Yeah, so now we have a first timer issue. And since I have not got only one first timer issue, if you are someone on this call for the very first time, I should be able to get you like 2 or 3 of you the similar issues. Let's take a look at it. So Mia, who is also a docs maintainer, has a pretty straightforward ask for all of you on the call and specifically first timers. And that's basically adding Mishri extensions repo, which is like the new org into the community. So we have help wanted labels across all our repositories. So if you go to the README of any repository, you will be able to see a couple of things like contributors, this help wanted issues and little call for what to say, yeah, CTA, like call for action, like following the pages and stuff, license. So this help wanted issues, this right now doesn't include Mishri extensions repo. Now where that GitHub repo is, let me quickly take you there. So this is the repository for Mishri extensions. And we would want to include this repository into this help wanted. Now there's instructions on that into this long text. So I will not be going through it, but suffice to say it's a pretty beginner friendly, and that's why it's labeled first timers. Do I have any volunteers for this? And yeah, we will have to be a first timer in order to get assigned.
So I have worked on 2 of the issues listed here. 2
Yeah, so
repositories.
then I think Leo will have to for assigning you because you already have worked on it. Ideally, we would want this issue to be assigned to someone who is, who it's the first issue for them to be working.
Okay.
But yeah, thanks a lot for helping, Leo.
Okay.
Rohan, do you mind taking this up if you're not working on an issue or if this is the very first time that you are into solving.
Sure. I was thinking that the other issue should be assigned, so I didn't talk. But okay, I would like to take it.
Yeah. So like, in fact, this is an issue that you can fix while we are on call. So do you mind commenting so that go by, assigning you? Because the only way I will be able to assign you is by you having in the commenters. So let me drop this down in chat. Yeah. So folks, if you look carefully, this issue, the good first one, the first timer one, is attached to many such open issues across all the repository that we have. And since we have repository, like README in all the repositories, any one of these are any number of these are open. I guess like more than 80 plus will be open or so, or if they are not, they should be. So yeah, we have plenty of these straightforward items to fix for all the first timers. And so yeah, I think you get a pretty easy win there. So if you are not able to get assigned to this one, you can work on any one of these that are open. I just quickly wanted to make that call for volunteer. Done with this site, and let me quickly ask if we have any agenda item for layer5.io before we move on to the next sections of the site. Okay, so let's now go to the next section, and that will be documentation site for layer 5, which is a Hugo site. So we are coming from a Gatsby site, which was a React framework, to a Hugo site. Hugo is a static site generator, and we have a couple of calls for volunteers in here too. The very first being about adding documentation and explaining it to a couple of team of individuals. So we are taking inspiration from Microsoft Docs, and since already Lee has like all the instructions detailed in there, I will not be repeating. But yeah, if you would like to chime in and would like to help, please do. And while you are commenting that you would want to work on it, please see these 2 requirements from Lee. And once you are able to give answers to these questions, we should be able to assign you. So I'll be dropping that down in the chat. And once again, the same issue about the good first timer issue. So anyone who is first timer and has not got any such issue to be working on, you can comment in this issue. So this is on different repository, and I will be able to get you assigned. So do I have anyone other than Rohan for this particular straightforward fixing, fix? So Alok, by any chance, is it the first time that you're joining this call? Yeah, so you might like to take a look at this issue and get assigned to it, since it would be a good start for you, like a pretty easy start for you. What I will do, I will drop this down in the chat box, because I don't think anyone, other members on the call are necessarily, this is their first time. So comment and I'll get you assigned, and then you can fix. Thanks a lot, Rohan. I'll be, assigning you to the particular issue. And in fact, any number of others can help assigning, like Mahadev and Anashpars, who are GitHub org members. All right. So this was all about documentation site for layer 5. This site has got any number of other issues open too. If you would like to take a look at, let me quickly run you through them. So all of these open issues, if they have already someone assigned to them and they're not making any progress, you can chime in and can help creating, fixing them. So let me again take this link and share with you all. Now we have a couple of items on Mystery.io. We'll be quickly going through them. Now this is a site which is based on Jekyll, another site, static site generator, and uses HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So a pretty beginner-friendly site once again, and it's the main site for Mystery project as well. It has a couple of sections like catalog. We were taking a look at it earlier when we were in the standing agenda items. Then if you want to take a look at blog, there you go. You can read on all the blogs that we have. And then, any number of other resources for you. So we have got a couple of items, and the very first one would be from 2 of them are from Lee, and I'll be covering this on behalf of Lee. The very first would be about having this category filter and sidebar, as you can see into the blog page. So like earlier, we did not used to have this categories navigation menu, and also these call for call for action CTAs. So this is pretty helpful, and thanks a lot to Lee for including these. So now let's say if you are interested into taking a look at blogs which are on, let's say, MeshryCTL, so simply can click on this link and it takes you to all the blogs that are onto that particular tag. So this, I think, is a very good addition, and I would like to thank Lee. I will also be sharing this URL to the pull request just in case you want to take a look and say thank you to Lee or offer any feedback. So that's there. Then there's another blog work in progress. So remember, I was just mentioning how we have got a new org under the community, like Meshry extensions. And so it's an addition to the existing Meshry community. And now, yeah, this blog is titled Meshry Umbrella Expands. And yes, that's pretty evident that it's on about inclusion of the new org. So yeah, this is not in draft, but yeah, something that if you will take a look and will offer feedback, that would be helpful. So I'll be dropping this in chat. And yeah, we are open to have more and more blogs published from any one of you on the call. So if you have intuitive blog title in mind, or you can find some in Blog Kitchen channel in Slack. So let me quickly go all the way to the up and share with you the Slack community link, where there's a channel Blog Kitchen where you can find any number of other blog title, like the topics, ideas. So if you like to work on them, go ahead by publishing these blogs. We had one published by Ian, who is a E2E, like a Meshry UI contributor last week. And by any chance, if you are following Meshry on Twitter, you might be also seeing posts around that. So yeah, we will also get a tweet out if you publish some high quality blogs. For the next one, this would be a pretty quick fix, and I'll quickly demonstrate what that is. Yeah, so right now, if you see this, sidebar, the main container that is there. Let me quickly show that to you. Yeah, this is the main container, as you all can see on your screen. And if you closely look, there's space to the right of this. And if we just can push this to the end, it will have some more space. And so the fix that I have is pretty simple in that regard. I'm just simply doing this. I will take you to my pull request. And since I have a screenshot attached, we'll be able to take a look at it. Yeah, so right now this is, it's like this. And what my change will do is simply push it to the right. So it has a couple of more space there. And similarly in the mobile view, like right now it's left aligned, but my PR just makes it look like it makes it stay in the center. So these are pretty quick fix. Like you can see, it's a 2-line CSS change. So yeah, if you have got any feedback, you can sound off with that. Let me quickly drop that down in the chat box. And on the call too, I'll stay for like 5 seconds if any one of you have any feedback to offer on this change that I just mentioned. We have already got some feedback from Gemini, and that's really great. So I'll take that as a no. We will move on to the next item, and that's from Aditya, UI fixed visibility bug in extensions pages. So Aditya, do you mind sharing this?
Okay. Yes. So I'm presenting my screen.
Sure.
Is it visible?
Oh, yes, it is.
Okay. So basically, I was working on this simple project, visibility bug. Let me first go to the issue. Okay. This is the issue. Basically, when in extension page, when we are switching between dark mode and light mode, so the text color of this button in not visible. You can see in this video. So basically, this is the problem. So I just the simple CSS change that I made. So I think I got some review from your side. What is the okay? Yeah. Can you yeah, Vivek, can you elaborate this? What
Yeah.
kind of thing?
Sure. So if you want to scroll a little to the very first comment that I have, so the change that you have done for the button that you were showing, that's awesome. Like that really looks good to me. If you now if you can open the deploy preview, so that will be commented by bot. Yeah, if you open this, so whatever changes you have done in this PR, we'll be able to see add that like into this link. If you go to the extensions pages, yep. So if you take a look, this Caribbean green, that's also like the primary brand color.
Okay.
And by any chance, like I can see the ask chatbot into the bottom right corner. So this is because you have not yet synced to the master brand. So please do, and this bot will be not there. We reverted it, so just a note. Yeah, so I was saying that if you take a look, this green color is brand primary color and has been used in some active buttons and to show some logos and stuff. So not necessarily we will want to include on the chip that is there. It might give impression that these green ones, these are active, and the ones that are like grayed out, they're like inactive and stuff. So previously, if you see, there were some colors which were not this brand color, right? That will be on the live site right now. And since like there's visibility issue with them in the theme, you went on to update with the brand color. So I was just suggesting that it would be good if we use some other color that's more feasible than just using the brand color, because I think a brand color should not be used for the chips in that particular extensions pages where we have multiple other colors doing the same. So if you see, yeah, this color, if you go to the top, yeah, so these are grayed out, and so it like just seems to me that we would be better off not using the brand color. I'll be open to any feedback from anyone on the call for this. So if you feel like we should not be using green color, like as Aditya was showing, feel free to chime in, or if you have any other thoughts too, that's also welcome.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you that it may look like the chip is active and that part. So yes, we should probably choose a darker or other variant.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Aditya, like in the root variable CSS file somewhere, you will find any number of other CSS color variables, and you can try using those and any combination that looks good to you. Since we don't have any strict, rules in place for chips, you simply can do that. But yeah, but not like the primary color.
Okay, got it. Yeah, I'll surely do that.
Yeah. Do you have any other items to share?
No, that's it from my side.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Aditya. All right, so then we have got Rajat on call with us, and this was a fix from Rajat. So let's quickly go there. Okay. So let me share my screen. Okay, so I might have moved the tab to the wrong place. So what I will do is to simply maximize this, and I'll ask if you're able to see my screen.
Yes, your screen is visible.
Yeah. Okay, thanks a lot. So yeah, this was so whenever you visited any 404 pages on the site, that is ministry.io site, it has some misalignment issues with this nav bar button, like this moon button, if you can see, yeah, this one. So Rajat has proposed a fix, and there was a couple of issues, and like that was not from Rajat's PR, but basically we were targeting button directly into this page not found.html, and that was having this undesirable effect, and that was any other button that is on the page, it was being modified by the styles that we like, it was simply being overwritten, and so we had some undesired effect. And so what I did was adding a extra CSS class, like extra class in there, and then targeting that particular button which has that particular class with these changes. So that made sure that we are just simply focusing on to buttons which are on 404 pages and not necessarily on other buttons that are on the current page, like the 404 page. So yeah, this was a good update from Rajat, and it's merged. So thanks a lot, Rajat, for this update. I think Rajat is also on the call, so yeah, thanks a lot. Yeah, like this another blog. So I was mentioning that if you are into content writing and would like to help by writing some blog, there is this call for volunteer right now open, and I don't think anyone has volunteered yet. So yeah, do chime in if you like to work on it. I'll see that you're assigned to it. So we have got this call for volunteers from. Okay, this is already merged, so we don't have to talk about it. There are a couple of things in systems. So the first one, once again, this is that good first issue that we were talking about, and the first timers only. So if you are a first timer, this one be something that you can work on. So let me quickly, drop that down in the chat. It's a pretty simple ask of just including a simple string to a link that is already existing the README. So for that, I'll just leave this description to you. But yeah, it's a first timer. Next up, this is an update from Amit, but we are missing Amit from the attendance. He has some issues, so we'll not be able to talk about it. Yeah, there would be another good first issue, and that would be basically, so if you ever go to any training material that we covered, and that's linked on the top of this docs, you will be able to see that we recommend how to build the Systent project locally, and then all the other projects that use Systent as their design system, how you can make changes to Systent and then see them being reflected onto those projects. So right now, the approach that the README and the contributor guide suggests is using this watch mode build, which is basically npm build. But there's another, simpler approach, easier approach of npm link. So first, you can read more about what is npm link, but it basically is hot reloading or live reloading any changes that you're doing into this particular Systent project, like where the component is. And then if you want to see it reflected into other project where that Systent component is being used. So yeah, you will ideally be learning about npm link, and then you will be seeing what we are doing right now. Like you will be able to see the make file. So if you see, this is just npm run build is what we are suggesting. So you will have to make changes to this, and then also the readme. So where it mentions about npm build, like make build, you simply can do something similar. Like it's possible that you simply will have make build, but will mention that it is using npm link, under the cover. So this is again, I think, a good first issues to work on, because you just need to read a little about npm link and then do some local testing, and that's all. So for that, I will be dropping the link in chat if I have not already done it. So while I do, Mahadevan, do you want to share about this, the changes that you have in Layer 5 Cloud?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Please go ahead.
Yeah, I've started sharing my screen. So when you sign into Layer 5 Cloud, there's an Academy section where one can go and start learning and develop skills on how to use Meshri or maybe Kubernetes. So among these pages, what used to happen was that within these chapters, the heading size was too large. So what I did was that I reduced the heading size to match the overall theme. So now it's more readable and not as large. So this is the PR that I've put up. It's a small change. So yeah, it used to look like this, and now it's like this.
This is really looking great, and thanks a lot, Mahadevan. By any chance, do you also would like to share about a note we have on repository overview page for any curious mind if they would like to, work in project like this, which is not necessarily a public project?
Yes. So Layer 5 Cloud is a private project along with Canvas. Details of the projects can be found on the repository overview page. I'll share the link for the same in the chat box. So yeah.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Mahadevan. Yeah, I have got the link and I'll be dropping that down in chat.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah, and I'll start my screen very quickly again. So the note that Mahadevan was referring to was this note at this particular page that is in the chat box. So yeah, there's a dedicated set of members who meet almost daily, and they work on a couple of projects that are not open and they are invite only. And it's the case because the data that they have, it's confidential in nature, so it cannot be out in public. But yeah, if you are consistently engaging and have demonstrated your skill set, you will be invited to participate in these programs. So once again, if you want to read more about it, you can do that through the note that's on this page through the link that is in chat. We have a couple of other cloud items too from Fahim and Amit, but since they are not in attendance, we will not be able to cover it out. So right now we will be not covering them, yeah. But yeah, we will be taking a look at this site, which is badges.layer5.io. It's the site to communities recognition program. So like if you are putting efforts, you are making contribution, and if you want to know how your contributions are recognized and celebrated, it's in form of a couple of badges along with any number of other ways. So particularly for badges, if you want to take a look at them, this would be the site that we would want to take a look at. I'll be dropping that in chat. So very recently on one of our dev meeting, we celebrated a couple of you who are actively working on the security issues, and many of you were awarded with this badge. So let's quickly take a look at it. I'm not sure why the CTRLF will not work on my laptop, but I'll simply scroll. Yeah, this one, Security Sentinel. So you can read this badge is awarded to individuals who contribute to identifying and fixing security vulnerabilities. And if you simply take a look at the community forum post where we actually had that celebratory post that we discussed on the community forum, you will find that somewhere. Security Slam, yeah, this one. So this is an activity that we participated in the last KubeCon, and these are the individuals who are the recipient of the first set of Security Sentinel badges. Now, if you would like to work on getting this badge, there's any number of open issues right now on the project board. So this is the link to all of them, and as you can see, there's any number of open issues. I'll drop them down, and yeah, if you're able to finish, or if you're simply are participating, you will be able to getting this badge and be named in the upcoming celebration for other security sentinels. And the similar way, we have any number of badges that we can explore, so I'll leave that out to you. Notably, this site also has a leaderboard section in it, but it's buggy and it doesn't work very well. So this would be a call for volunteer again, and a help wanted area if any one of you would like to work on it. I think this link is basically inactive. Yeah, discussion forum leaderboard. So I think this page, this URL has been made inactive, and so we can no longer access. But yeah, when you are building the site locally, you will be able to see that this is not quite correct representation of the contributions from folks like us and you. And it is also getting its data from our community forum, that is this, which is a Discourse plugin. So right now on Discourse 2, you also can see, take a look at this. So if you go to users, you will be able to see this, many users by their activity and the number of likes they have received and given and other stuff. So this data is queried on this leaderboard, and some points are calculated on some formula I'm not aware, but yeah, we need to make sure that whatever we see on this screen is actually this case on the leaderboard too, and not other way around, any other way around. So yeah, I'll just simply leave that link to you in the chat box so that you can explore if you'd like to help in it. And for folks, I think that's concludes our community meeting today. But before I wrap up the call, I'll quickly share the calendar. So just like this call, which is focused on sites, we have any number of other meetings happening. So the Meshri development meeting that happens on Wednesday, like day after tomorrow, where we talk about everything on Meshri, like Kubernetes and all sorts of things that Meshri does, Golang and stuff. So yeah, that is again a meeting that happens, a weekly meeting. On Thursday, we have a newcomers meeting. And we right now are running a contributor training session where we take new members from different components of Meshri. So I'll quickly take you through that, like where you can find all the sessions, upcoming sessions. So I go to Meshri project. I will look for training, and yeah, this is the one. So if you scroll, you will be able to see this, schedule of all the sessions. So the very first one, contributing to Meshri docs, it happened on April 10th. And on the last newcomers meeting, we had end-to-end testing in Meshri CLI given by Ria. And if you want to take a look at the session, you can just simply access that through the link that's in there. So let me quickly share this with you. And yeah, stay tuned. We will be having a CI/CD session from Sangram, who is also CI maintainer in Meshri, on the next, like this week's newcomers meeting on April 24th. So yeah, once again, and others, you can read more about it. So basically, my point was, if you want to take a look, like get updates to all these meetings without having to worry about tracking them manually yourself based on your time zone, you simply can hit that big fat yellow button and it will be syncing all the meetings to your time zone. So that was all. I'll be dropping that down in the chat. And that was all, everyone. I'll see you next Monday. And in the meantime, if you're working on a website item and you need help, you can chime in and ask for help in website channel. So once again, thanks a lot for participating and sharing your updates. I'll see you in Slack.